You will die. Maybe not today, maybe not for decades, but one day your heart will stop beating. Your lungs will stop breathing. Your name will be spoken for the last time, and the world will continue without you, exactly as it did before you were born. Memento Mori. Remember, you will die. To some, it sounds morbid. To others, it sounds like freedom. The phrase comes from ancient Rome, whispered into the ears of triumphant generals returning from war. As the crowd cheered their victory, a servant stood behind them and whispered, "Respis poste, hominem te memento." Look behind you. Remember, you are only a man, not a god, not immortal, not untouchable, just human and temporary. Today, we avoid death like a social disease. We buffer it with euphemisms, hide it behind hospital curtains, delay it with supplements and biohacks and distractions. We chase youth like it's a destination, and we treat aging like it's an error in the system, something to fix rather than face. But death is not the enemy. Forgetfulness is, because when we forget that we're going to die, we also forget how to live. How often do you delay what matters because you think there will be time? Time to apologize. Time to take the trip. To say what you meant to say. We tell ourselves we're waiting for the right moment. But death doesn't wait. It doesn't reschedule. It doesn't check your calendar. It just arrives silently, irreversibly, and usually when we least expect it. And yet, it is not cruel. It is not even unfair. It is the most democratic thing that exists. No one escapes it. No one cheats it. It levels kings and criminals, poets and accountants. It reminds us that all our accomplishments, our arguments, our anxieties, are brief visitors in the theater of time. That should terrify you and awaken you, because the truth is, most people are not afraid of dying. They're afraid of not having lived. They're afraid of arriving at the end, looking back, and realizing they were so busy avoiding pain, chasing approval, and numbing discomfort that they never actually showed up, never loved fully, never created boldly, never risked rejection for the sake of truth. Memento Mori is not an invitation to dwell in dread. It's a call to clarity. When you remember death, small annoyances dissolve. You stop arguing over things that won't matter in a week. You stop putting off the work that calls to your soul. You stop wasting energy trying to impress people you don't even respect. Because in the presence of death, life becomes radiant. Every conversation becomes a possible last. Every sunrise becomes something sacred. Every decision becomes a question of meaning. Am I living aligned with what matters, or just existing on autopilot? The Stoics used Memento Mori not to depress themselves, but to sharpen their purpose. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do, say, and think." Seneca warned, "It's not that life is short, it's that we waste so much of it." What if your life ended in a year? What if it ended next week? What would you regret not doing, not saying, not becoming? Most people don't need more time. They need more urgency. Not the anxious kind, the existential kind. The quiet, sober realization that you're not promised a later chapter. That every day is a non-refundable miracle. And that whatever you're postponing, you may be postponing forever. Memento Mori doesn't just change how you live. It changes why you live. You stop seeking immortality in things, money, fame, image, and you start investing in moments, relationships, and legacies. You start creating art that outlives your name. You start loving people as if their time is limited, because it is. You start saying no to noise and yes to depth. You begin to live with the kind of presence that makes people feel safer around you, calmer, more alive. Because death has humbled you, and through that humility, you've become more human. So no, you don't need to fear death, but you do need to remember it. Because in remembering death, you remember that this life, this hour, this breath is all the more precious because it ends. Memento Mori is not darkness. It is the light that cuts through distraction. It is the silence that makes the music of life more vivid. It is the truth no one wants to face, but everyone needs to hear. You will die. And in that reality, You may finally learn how to live.